Greta Van Fleet's long-awaited second album, The Battle at Garden's Gate, has finally arrived. But, is it any good? What's up everybody, Sammy here. Hope this video is finding you well. Hope y'all are taking care of yourselves. And welcome to another review. Today we're taking a look at Greta Van Fleet's album number 2, Battle at Garden's Gate. Greta Van Fleet is a modern classic rock band that emerged onto the scene in around 2017, very recently, and quickly made a name for themselves, for better or worse. They're a band with a very large audience on two very opposite sides of a spectrum. On one hand, a lot of people think these guys are just a Led Zeppelin cover band. A complete ripoff of Led Zeppelin. They sound too much like Led Zeppelin. Uninspired, all the words. And then on the other hand, you have people that are like, well, yeah, they sound like Zeppelin, but why is that a bad thing? I fall somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's a bad thing at all to be influenced by one of the greatest bands of all time. But at the same time, of course, I would want any band influenced by an older one to eventually forge their own path and find their own way. I first discovered Greta Van Fleet from their first EP, From the Fires, which I thought was a very solid effort. The very first song I heard ever from them was their cover of A Change Is Gonna Come. Thought that was an incredible song. I thought they did a great job on this. And in fact, the very first time I heard the song, I thought it was some old-ass band or something that I was like, whoa, is this? The Led Zeppelin didn't catch me immediately. I was like, whoa, this is an interesting song. Where's it from? And then I saw 2017. I'm like, what the hell? That entire debut EP was a very solid effort from them. Black Smoke Rising, still to this day, is one of my favorite Greta Van Fleet songs ever. Their breakout single, Highway Tune, still a bop. I don't think it's ever not going to be a bop. So from that EP, I was very pleasantly surprised. I was like, damn, the rock music is still this good in 2017. And as a result, I was very, very much looking forward to their debut album, which I'll admit disappointed me a little bit. When I go back and listen to it now, I do find more appreciation in it for reasons I'll go into later, if I remember. But at the time of its release, I found Anthem of the Peaceful Army to be a little bit underwhelming. Like I said, I'm fine with a band sounding like another band. There's worse bands than Led Zeppelin to rip off of, let's be honest here. But I just wanted the band to kind of find their own way, like carve a niche for themselves, cement their own sound into this landscape, and I just found Anthem of the Peaceful Army to not really be all that great. I didn't think it was a bad album. Songs did stand out to me. Watching Over was a great song, actually. I wish the whole album was like Watching Over. When the Curtain Falls was alright. You're the One was cliche, but fine. In fact, most of the album kind of falls under cliche, but fine. I don't hate the album. I don't dislike it. Like I said, I like it better now going back to it, but I was just not a huge fan at the time of release. Which brings me to Battle at Garden's Gate. This is an album that I won't say I was looking forward to it, but I was interested to see where the band would take their sound. I figured that even they have to realize at this point, look, we need to do our own thing. It's okay to sound like Robert Plant, but we have to make a name for ourselves. We don't just want to be living in Robert Plant's. We don't want to just be living in Led Zeppelin's shadow. Battle at Garden's Gate is a somewhat disjointed album. However, I do think it is leaps and bounds better than Anthem of the Peaceful Army. I have a couple of problems with this album. I don't really think it's perfect, but at the end of the day, this is album number 2 from a band that has accomplished a lot for the few years that it's been on the scene. I mean, you can hate them all you want, but these guys are successful, and they have potential to go down in history as a household name in music, I think. This is album number 2. Gotta start somewhere. The singles from this album were mostly very good. My Way Soon, the lead single, is pretty catchy. It has a nice sound to it. I don't really care too much for the lyrics. It's actually a resounding issue with Greta Van Fleet is their songwriting is not all there. Some of their lyrics I really like a lot. Black Smoke Rising, and I said that's one of my favorite songs to date from them. I like the lyrics in that song. There are songs on this album that have some pretty solid songwriting, and then some that just have lyrics like this. I mean, what? How old are we? But it was still a catchy song. The rest of the singles that followed, I liked a lot better. Broken Bells is an incredible power ballad. I don't know if I'd call it a power ballad, but Broken Bells is a ballad, and a very, very good one at that. It's one of my favorite songs from this album. Age of Machine, one of the best songs I've heard all year. That's not an exaggeration. I think Age of Machine is one of, if not the best Greta Van Fleet song. I say that with a little bit of caution because I need to solidify that opinion, but it's up there. I could comfortably say that it's the best Greta Van Fleet song. That sentiment could change, but as of now, if you could convince me that it's the best Greta Van Fleet song. I think it's amazing. It is a phenomenal song, and it's the essence of what I was really hoping that the band would do on this album. Make their own way. Of course, they still sound like Robert Plant. I mean, dude's voice it's going to sound like Robert Plant. He's not going to change that. But the song itself is something else. Love it. Which kind of brings me to my first real issue with the album, is that most of the best songs on here are the singles. You know, the opener, Heat Above, as well. That was a single, and I really like that song. So already 3 of the top tier songs on here were singles. And I know it's not just me, but I don't really like it when the best songs on an album are the singles. I mean, when the best song is like the lead single or something, I'm like, really? I mean, what was the point of waiting for the album then? So it does kind of fall into that trap, which is not to say that there are not other standout tracks on this record. Songs like Caravel, Built by Nations, I really like those. Both songs are bops. Caravel, that chorus is going to be stuck in my head for the foreseeable future. I think it's the sleeper hit of this album, honestly. But then there are other songs that just feel like filler. Tears of Rain comes to mind. It's not terrible, but it, along with Light My Love, feel kind of cliche. I mean, they remind me of You're the One on Anthem of the Peaceful Army, just not really as good. I mean, they're kind of like love songs, but I just think You're the One did it best. Not bad songs, and that's a point I really kind of want to reinforce. At its worst, this album is never bad, because even when the lyrics are cringe, and even when the songs themselves are a little uninspired, the musicianship is still amazing. This band consists of 3 brothers and a drummer, I'm blanking on his name, but they all know what they're doing. Lead singer knows how to sing, and the musicians, they know how to play their instruments. The album is never bad, but it's just also not all great. Which again, it's album number 2. Can't expect perfection from them yet, and I think that they are getting there. But there are definitely filler songs on here. The Barbarians and what's it called? Trip the Light Fantastic. I'm going to be completely honest, I'm blanking on what those songs really sound like. Filler, you know? The fat could have been trimmed. I would say the first half of this album is definitely better than the second half. The first half of this album has the heavy hitters. Built by Nations, that was not a single. That was one of the songs on the album we didn't get to listen to until release. Amazing song. Like I said, these singles were mostly all in the first half. My Way Soon, Heat Above, Age of Machine, Broken Bells. But the second half of the record does have one amazing surprise, and that comes in the form of The Weight of Dreams, the closing track on this record. I said that you can make an argument for Age of Machine being the best Greta Van Fleet song, and the one reason I was kind of hesitating to say that is because of The Weight of Dreams. Superb fucking song. I mean, what a way to close out this album. Anthem of the Peaceful Army ended with an extended version of one of the singles. This album ends with a truly phenomenal, superb, stellar song. This song just wowed me the first time I heard it. It's 9 minutes long, but really only the first half of it is lyrics. The second half is an amazing solo. This is, like I said, these guys know how to play their instruments, and the album is never bad. Like I said, at its worst, it's uninspired. At its best, it is truly, truly phenomenal, and just really reinforces the idea to me that this may be an unpopular opinion, this may get some laughs, but I really think that when Greta Van Fleet's career is all said and done, they really could go down in history as like one of the greatest rock revival bands out there. I mean, this band is making music at a very important time where rock is, I don't want to, rock is dying. I don't want to echo that cliche because rock isn't dying. It's not true. There are some really good rock bands out there. You just got to know where to look. Rather, Greta Van Fleet is kind of just making rock popular again. They're making music at a time where, the older generation, they kind of haven't really listened to much of anything new in the rock game. I mean, my dad, for example, I try to get this guy into like a bunch of rock. I try to get him into Tool, into Avenged Sevenfold, into Chevelle. I play all this music, and he's like, yeah, it's not bad, but it's also nothing he would go out and listen to. But Greta Van Fleet is a different story. He actually genuinely likes them. He does kind of feel the same as me, where they, need to carve their own path eventually, but the musicianship, they know what they're doing. He's kind of the same mind as I am. But if this band embraces their potential to the fullest moving forward, I think that we could be in for a very special career from these guys. So yeah, guys, that's really my thoughts on The Battle at Garden's Gate, album number 2 from Greta Van Fleet. It's solid. It could have been better, but it also could have been a lot worse. They could have just decided to float on their Led Zeppelin influence, and they would have been probably still successful. But I'm glad that they're starting to make their own sound. I really am, and I'm curious to see where they go moving forward, and I will be actively anticipating album number 3 from these guys. So thank you for watching. Appreciate you all checking it out. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like. Let me know what you think. Do you like these guys? Do you hate these guys? What'd you think of the album? Let me know. Let's have some discussion. And until next time, guys, I'll see you. Take care of yourselves and have a great day. Peace out.